My shins are hurting from walking Augusta National.
Yeah. It's the biggest thing you notice the first time you get there. And you just went and did the golf course front to back, right?
So what I did, so I got there and I started on the first hole. I stood on the back of the first tee.
Awesome.
And I walked down and I went to the second hole, and you can get the story from here. I did the entire golf course. Couldn't get to the back of 13, obviously.
Yeah.
Couldn't get all the way back to 14.
Yeah. Hard to get back on 11 too.
But I did. So what you have to do to get to the back of 11, you have to go down the left side on 10.
Yes.
You can get all the way back.
Yes, and then you got to wait to cross.
Yes, you have to wait to cross. So I got to see the entire place. I took notes on every hole I couldn't take them live at the time, but it was a long travel day yesterday with shuttles, etc. So I took some time and really just went hole by hole. And I mean, TV doesn't do it justice.
Give me your top 5, 6, 7 observations. They can be general.
Right. Okay. So the number one thing is like the undulation changes.
Everybody says it. They don't believe me when I tell them.
No, I know, but it is unbelievable how steep some of the drop-offs are. Even the first hole, the first tee it's almost like it's on a cliff.
Yep.
And you walk down and then you're walking back uphill. I couldn't believe, Mark, how many uphill approach shots there are into Augusta National.
Well, you figure even 1 slightly up, right? 3 is drivable, slightly up. 5 is up, especially if you're not a bomber. It's really up.
Yeah.
7's
up. Definitely up.
8 is up. 9 is up. 10 is up. People don't realize 10 is up.
Yep.
But when you get it in the speed slot down the left, which is the objective on 10, then 10 becomes up.
You shot an 11 sort of up. It's kind of a blind tee shot.
Tee shots up. I was just talking approaches even, right?
Yeah.
I haven't even got to tee shots. I'm just on approaches. If you go on grade alone, just on pure grade, 13 is technically up.
100%. 14 is definitely
14 is up. 17 is up. 18 is up. So, so to your point, everything is completely uphill, which why when we look at it and every year we go, Augusta's adding yardage to the card. I mean, what's it now off the actual back? Like close to 75?
I think at least that.
Yeah. So it's 75 that, depending on firmness, wind conditions, yada, yada, can play several hundred yards longer.
100.
And we're getting rain. Now, here's the thing about this rain coming Thursday. We know they've got the greatest sub-air system in the world.
Yes.
So it's not going to affect the firmness of the greens if they don't want it to. They can combat Mother Nature, but they can't sub-air the entire golf course.
No.
So it might play a little longer on Thursday morning than they anticipated, which could get them to make an alteration in course setup. Like, do they want it to play 77 or feel like it plays 7,700 yards on Friday? I don't know. That's up to the tournament committee.
Yeah.
A lot of that depends on what they shoot on Thursday.
100%.
You know what I mean? If they go super low on Thursday, you could see them go on,
right.
That's it. We're done with this. Even par's a good score today. No one can dial in their golf course better than the tournament committee at Augusta.
Well,
you and I know that.
Yeah, and even some players were saying how firm and fast it was already playing. So maybe they're anticipating that coming in because we know it's going to be hot regardless.
You know, the other thing that's interesting about Augusta, and I hear these guys like Rory last week saying, I got my work done last week. It doesn't matter if you got your work done last week. It doesn't matter if you got your work done on Tuesday, if you got your work done on Wednesday. There is not a golf course on the planet and a tournament committee that can do things at will with a flip of a switch to change a golf course completely Thursday morning. This is why first-timers, Adam, have such a hard time there. They don't understand the little nuances that you're looking at and getting to. But they also don't realize, McGinley was talking about this the other night on Golf Central. How the first time he went to Augusta, he went, this course is gettable. Played it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's gettable. And he got there Thursday morning, and they moved the hole locations to the edges, and the greens were 2 feet faster and a foot firmer, and he went, this course is impossible. I can't break 80.
Yeah, well, you can tell that could happen. And even, with some of the pin locations that they can put them on and just how severe some of the greens are. The biggest one for me, honestly, was 6, the par 3. The mound on the right side of the green, if the whole location is on there and you're
back right,
and
they just made it bigger.
They did.
There's 3 or 4 subtle changes to Augusta National that they've kind of quietly let go, but really haven't enough.
Yep.
They actually gained square footage there If you had saw it a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still shockingly small. We're talking minor. Back middle 2 is now a whole location.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yep.
That never used to be a whole location. We might see that for the first time this year.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple subtle spots. They do it every once in a while. But, I mean, that back right hole location on 6, I don't know how you hit a golf ball there. I have no idea how you hit a golf ball.
And if you're right of that pin, and let's say you put a little too much mustard on it, Phil Mickelson did this a couple of years ago, you're 80 feet away from the hole like this.
Yes.
And it's pretty easy to do that. Another green, 14? How severe, how narrow that green is, and humps and bounds. Those are a couple of the putting surfaces that were crazy. I found the approach shot into 9. When I looked at it, when I was standing on one of the crosswalks,
Looks like
looking
10 stories in the air where you're standing there physically. And it's like you
It's
can't
right
see
up.
anything.
To me, like the phrasing I thought of immediately, this is hilariously uphill.
Yes.
Because let's say, and players are going to have wedges in there because they bomb it if it's a relatively firm. And if they can't control the spin on their wedges, the ball is coming right back to their feet, 100 yards away, because the green is like this. It's wild.
What I'm hearing there is if I stand up and thin an 8-iron, it's probably going to work out pretty well there for me.
Yeah, you just knife a little 8 up there. If you're above
just a couple
the
of
hole.
grooves low on that 8. Take the spin right off of it.
Yeah, just throw it right up there. Yeah, that was, oh man, that was looking at that.
Yeah, I'm curious
approach.
of this food. I want to know.
Oh, you want to
'cause
know?
I want to
You wanna know, do you?
Tease me on the other side. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh yeah.
so what? So did you get into pimento and cheese? Did
Okay.
you get into multiple?
So we spent last week talking about the food, and you and Bob both said you got to have the pimento
Have
cheese.
to do it out of the gates because it's your first time.
You might not like it.
Yeah.
I said, all right. So we arrived last Saturday, went for the egg salad
Yeah,
right away
tremendous.
initially.
Really good.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine.
The egg salad can only be, there's only 2 things with egg salad. You either like it or you don't like it. I don't think there's like great egg salads.
Right.
So it's fine.
Now, how Bob had 13 of those last year, like I'm still worried about his health.
Growing feathers.
Yes, his stomach. Yeah, there's a lot of things. But then I thought, Sunday, have a coffee, pimento cheese. I got to tell you, Mark, I didn't hate it.
You are Mr. Pimento Cheese.
Now, I only had one.
Okay, well, that's a smart move because anymore, I don't know what it does to your insides. And you and I have
We have issues.
we have genetic, historical stomach issues
Yes.
that if we make a bad decision at the wrong time,
Yeah.
be catastrophic
Yes.
for you and I.
Yes. Yeah, we won't go into any more
No,
detail.
we don't need any more detail than
with
that.
But so the pimento cheese, but I got to tell you, like it had a little kick to it, a little spice. I was pleasantly surprised.
Did you have an azalea?
I did not have.
Okay.
So there's 6 sandwiches, I believe.
No, azalea is the signature cocktail.
Oh.
Well, you can make this at home. You don't need.
Oh, we talked about this.
Yeah,
Right.
it's your vodka of a choice. I believe at Augusta the vodka of choice is Grey Goose, but depending on where you are on the property, you can go Arnold Palmer Kettle One. You can do other things. So
Right.
it is a shot of vodka,
Mm-hmm.
lemonade,
Ooh.
which is and it's actually like the clear lemonade. It's not pink. What makes it pink in color is not the lemonade. It is a half a shot of grenadine, which pinks it up, and then a slice of orange. And that
Oh.
is their to the Kentucky Derby, the mint julep. The azalea is, and unlike the pimento cheese, you can have 6, 7 azaleas and be very happy.
I mean, I'm sure after having 6 or 7 azaleas, the pimento cheese might be tolerable after that. But hey, honestly, I was pleasantly surprised with the pimento cheese. Like, pleasantly surprised. Also ate in the restaurant by the media center.
Yes.
Really good clam chowder.
Chowder.
Really love myself some clam chowder. Nice fried chicken with macaroni. That was also a good
Nice.
menu. A couple other sandwiches. There's the chicken club, or the club, and then there's the original chicken. I'll have to get the names down because they're
Did
pretty good.
you keep it under $800 in the
Great question.
because back when I first started going in 2003, the average spend was $800 US for a first time visitor,
Right.
or I think any patron to begin with, the average spend was $800. Keep in mind, the only place you can get anything Augusta is on the ground. So that person's also taking orders for friends and family and yada, yada. Now that number has moved and eclipsed above 1,000.
Wow.
The average spend on property.
Okay. So
Drum roll.
$790.
Wow. So you're old school. I like it. You're old school.
I'm old school. Now, I could have spent $1,000. I
Right,
could
quite
have spent
easily.
more. I could have redecorated my condo with Masters paraphernalia. My better half, Taylor, would
I'm sure
not
Taylor would have
loved
loved that. I'm sure Taylor.
She would be like,
yeah.
you know what? Maybe anyway.
So that's just why I've got a 10 by 12 studio now in my yard. Because Mrs. Golf Talk Canada basically kicked everything I own out of the house.
But, to your point, had some gifts to buy friends. So I actually,
Yes.
no phone. So I wrote down,
Yeah.
put it in my pocket.
Mhm.
Got some hats for people in the newsroom. I got a hat for myself. Got some great wine glasses.
Nice.
Really nice
Yes.
stemless wine glasses.
Yes.
Beer koozies. Got a great sweater for Mama Skulls.
Mama Skulls needs us. Yes.
Needs a
How's
nice.
her? Is she still striping it down in Naples, like career?
I'm surprised Ruth isn't playing in the Masters. I mean,
It's that
she's
good.
just breaking 80 nonstop.
I thought we might have saw her at the Augusta National Women's Amateur. I
mean,
really
next
thought
year.
like.
The way she's trending, she's actually on a bird very shortly coming home to Toronto to watch the Masters. She's
Oh,
back
nice.
full
So back
time.
for the year, back to
Yeah.
Open Bayview.
Bayview's opening April 25th.
So and the Hunt Club opens Monday. This Monday, it's going to be 15 degrees, mix of sun and cloud, opening day at the Toronto Hunt. So after radio, Angry Mike and I.
Wow.
Oh, I know we got to go to break quickly. Did you get emotional at any point? The reason I ask you this,
Yeah.
I've been to, I think 15 or 16 Masters.
Right.
But my first Masters was in 2003.
Yeah.
And I got to do it with my dad
Yeah.
on a Tuesday. It was the Tuesday practice round.
Right.
And my dad and I, we walked the golf course. This is 21 years ago, so my dad would have been in his late 60s, probably 69. Sorry, what am I talking about? He's 80, 81, so he would have been 60. Yeah, about 60, 59, 60, 61. See, my math's.
It's been math.
All
of
right,
course,
sorry.
you know,
So we went on did the one. It was very emotional for me
Mhm.
to get to do it with my dad,
Yeah.
to see Amen Corner for the first time. It got me a couple times.
Yeah, so the most it got me was at Amen Corner.
Yeah,
and I
that's
stood
same
there.
here.
Yeah, I definitely, I got a little choked up for sure. I had goosebumps, and there was no one hitting golf shots.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I'm just looking around,
No.
and I mean, it's like you're standing on where so much has happened.
Yeah.
And like I'm getting chills right now thinking.
It also happened in my first WrestleMania, but we won't get into that right now.
Yeah, but even like you're standing there, and I was in front of the bleachers, and I'm looking to my left, and first of all, that water hazard comes in so much more on the 11th green than it appears on television, at least to me anyway. I don't know how 11's not a par
Try hitting
five.
a 3-wood in there like some of the older guys still playing ceremonial.
100%.
Or even if you're Brian Harmon. If Brian Harmon's going to be hitting hybrids and if it gets wet and,
Yeah.
and he gets a wind at him,
Yeah.
you got a Brian Harmon out there with my ball speed, not your ball speed.
No.
He's got my ball. We're about the same size.
Right.
He's got one more claret jug than I do, but I'm trying
For now.
hard for now.
Yeah.
Hey, we're chewing the
No,
clock here.
It's fine.
Okay?
But
All right.
even still, like, and you can. I was so curious. I got as close as I could to the 12th tee, and the wind was starting to pick up. Walking down 11, but when you're standing on that tee, man, you can't feel it at all.
Well, the worst, you can't feel it if at times.
Yeah.
And then there's times when you're standing at 12 and they've got those grandstands that sit behind the 12th tee.
Right.
And I have sat in that grandstand over the year on numerous times. And you look at 11 and the flag's going one way, and you look at 12 and the flag's going in completely the opposite direction. And you've got to pick a club on that 12th tee,
Mhm.
and you're getting two different winds within 100 yards of one another.
Yeah.
And the depth of the 12th green looks like the depth of a billiards table.
I was gonna say that.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you're at that point, like seriously, I'd be aiming for a bunker. I would go middle of the green and play to the back edge. And if I get in the back bunker, I'm okay as long as I don't get it to the down slope of the back. I think you can get up and down pretty easily
Yeah.
if you're a decent bunker player, which obviously PGA Tour professionals. But as long as you get it to the flat or the upslope is minimal there, but anything other than the back slope of that bunker, you can make 3 all day. as long as you're got your head and your nerves in check.
Yeah. Yeah.
All day you can make
100%.
it.
100%.
That's why over the years where I see guys kind of back right on Sunday, we've seen it so many times, and they get the ball right of that flag. If you get the ball right of that flag on 12, I mean, you've never watched a Masters and you're a moron.
No.
At that
Yeah.
point. You're a complete moron.
Yeah.
And it's happened over the years. We've seen it.
It
right?
really has. And to put a bow on my experience walking around.
Yeah.
No. The grass, like it legitimately looks fake. It is so nice. It is so pristine.
Edges of the bunkers look fake.
The snip around the bunkers for sure. The sand, how white it looks, to be quite honest. The entire place is incredible. If you ever win the lottery, if you get a chance to go down, cancel all life plans, get down to Augusta National, go see it. I've said this to people off air, I'll say it on air. That was a top 5 life experience for me. And I walked a golf course alone. It just has that much history. Obviously, we're golf nuts, but that was just something that I will never forget. And I'm looking forward to hopefully getting down again at some point again.